going to begin by introducing ourselves. I'm Tony.
And I'm Chantel.
And we're the Tonyandtelshow.
Oh, well, thank you.
We want to thank you for coming on our show and giving us this interview. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Now, I first want to ask you about your modeling.
Read right.
I read that you were a model at 14.
I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was when I was growing up, my mom and dad were teachers, and they had my brother and me just like in one thing or the next, like always keeping us involved out, not only in school but outside of school. So this lady came to my school actually, and she had a modeling school, and she was talking to a number of people, and so I ended up taking modeling classes just locally and whatever, and and just kind of went from there. And I did. I was tall for my age. I was at 14. I was already 5'8", and just really awkward and skinny. So so it was it was a good fit for me, and I was really shy too, and really that's why my parents were really supportive of it. They're like, oh, put her in that, maybe she'll come out of her shell or whatever. So
Oh, okay. That's good.
Well, the thing about
what are some of the challenges you had on modeling?
You're always something. It's always you're too this, you're too that, you're not enough, you're not of that, not enough of that, whatever. And so especially for a young person getting involved in the industry, it's usually at that age, preteen, teenage years, you're kind of you're not necessarily your most confident necessarily, and I know I wasn't. And so that was I got into it, like I said, because I wanted to learn to be more outgoing. What I found is, it was kind of the opposite in some ways, but eventually you get over not being this or not being that. And aside from that, being 5, which I'm still 5'8", it's cool to do. I liked doing runway. That for me was, I don't like taking pictures. To the day, I don't like taking pictures. It's uncomfortable for me. But I loved doing runway because it was like, it's up on stage and there's music and it's, you can become like a whole other character or whatever. And so I like that, but I'm tall enough. Some places, for most places, they want 5 and above. So I'm like, ow, just runway. Really? So those are my main challenges, I guess.
Oh, okay. Now, when you went into acting, did you feel like, since you had done modeling, that's like something you knew about, or were you still like, young really and, like didn't know what was going on?
I did go to college, and I took one class in college, and one acting class. I had no idea what I was doing. I just kind of did it because it was an elective. I'm like, all right, I'll do it, But I literally fell into acting. I had moved out to San Francisco, and the funny thing, I was teaching at a modeling school. I was teaching men how to do runway. And but this manager came up from LA, and he was looking for new talent. And as a teacher, I was only like 23 at the time anyway, but I was a teacher, but he wasn't supposed to talk to any of the teachers, just the students that were there. But he came into my office, and he's like, you got a great look. I'm like, okay. And he he asked me to read what's called sides. Sides are part of a script. Just a couple pages with him. And after I read with him, I really think I could work with you and do your work in LA, and would you be willing to be down there? And I said, no. I'd been to LA one time, and honestly, I didn't like it. It was like, it's too big, it's too, crowded, it's too whatever. But he talked me into coming down for one audition. It was on my one day off that week. And amazingly, I booked the first thing I ever read for in my life. And it was on a show called Out All Night. It was with Patti LaBelle and Vivica Fox. And I'd had 2 lines, literally 2 lines, and I worked for 2 hours, and I got the check, and it was $1,800.
Yeah.
Like, so I moved to LA about like 3 weeks later.
What?
It was just kind of crazy. But but I guess doing the back to modeling stuff, it definitely did help because I was familiar being on camera. It was a little not really what I was doing.
Right.
Okay, what has been your biggest achievement throughout your acting career?
It's funny because
or maybe a favorite moment that
I've been really blessed to work with a lot.
Like a favorite moment that you look back on and was like, yes,
the biggest star that I worked with was I got to be on The Sopranos, which was that was my favorite show, so I loved doing it. But I've had a lot. But I've had some crazy jobs that have been memorable. Like I did a show called Battleground. You see me roll my eyes. Where I had to walk out with an 11-foot python snake wrapped around every week. Maybe in a way, that was like my biggest achievement because I was scared to death of snakes. And the end of it, I'm cool with it. But I've gotten to do. I've gotten to meet a lot of wonderful people, a lot of great actors that I've looked up to. Like right now, I'm working on something. It's not acting per se, but I'm being considered as a possible new host on the show Extra. And so in that, I get to interview lots of people. I interviewed Olivia Newton last week. I interviewed Greg Kinnear for a movie that's coming out. It came out on Wednesday. I was supposed to get to interview Halle Berry, which I'm disappointed I didn't get to do because my schedule conflicted, and so I would have liked to talk to her. I've met her a few times in an interview, so it's all the really interesting opportunities I've had out here. I'm kind of half and half on that. The nice thing on interviewing is, you're yourself. You're just, this is me, and nobody does you better than you, right?
Like the interviewing better or the acting?
That part is fun, and that's what I kind of trained for in college. I was going to do newscasting, and I did it for a little while and found out it wasn't really for me, not straight news.
Right.
So, but acting is great too because you can become somebody that you're not, and as that character, if you're the shyest person in the world, for example, you're no longer shy. And you become somebody else. So that's fun too. It's like everybody kids play dress up or make believe when they're kids. So it's like being it's make believe and being paid, that's nice too.
Now, you did a lot of television, and you worked with a lot of stars like Will Smith, the Malcolm and Eddie, and The Sopranos, which you already mentioned. What did you learn from those senior actors that been in the business for a long time? What did you learn from them, and what did you take from them as you did different spots on the show?
I learned a lot about comedic timing. Not everybody can do it. It's I can't even really put into words how to do it. But I watched him, and they're called beats, basically. So I learned a lot about comedic timing from him. Ben Kingsley, for example. Well, and also Jamal Warner. They're very, it's hard to describe. If you've ever studied acting, you might know what I'm talking about. But with acting, it's not just about, saying the words. It's about interacting with your fellow actor, and it's about making that believable, basically. So I think every job has been, a learning experience for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I like TV guest spots. Yeah. I really do. I'm the thing with movies is
now, do you like doing the TV guest spots more, or do you like doing movies more?
And you're playing the same character day after day, and so you have to be really consistent when you're playing that same character, same scenario, same storyline. With guest spots, it's a week, it's 2 weeks, whatever, and and then you go on and you're a whole other character. So I have to say, while my movies, maybe pay a little bit.
Right.
TV for me has always been more fun.
Right.
Oh, my mom. It's so true, though. I mean, I grew up, like I said, both my parents.
Okay, I want to know who is your greatest inspiration, and who or what has kept you grounded and motivated throughout your career?
And like this time of the year is really special to me. I mean, it's my faith has really gotten me through a lot of tough times and a lot of really difficult times. And like I said, it took me a while to figure it out that being yourself is better than trying to be somebody else. Because quite honestly, out here in LA, everybody's trying to be trying to be like this person, trying to be like that person, whatever. Is my hair this? Is my everything is like, oh, is this right? Is that right? Whatever. But as you get older and more experienced or whatever, you really do find out that just be yourself. Because and if somebody likes you, great. If they don't like you, guess what? Somebody tomorrow might. Somebody else might. And it's just it's about accepting yourself, and that's something that my mother taught me from the very beginning. So yeah, there's my mom.
Right.
Okay.
Oh boy. Yeah. Best parts. Getting to meet all kinds of great people.
So what do you think is the best and worst part about your job?
People you see on TV, and you might go, oh wow, Before I got into the business, I mean, I used to, watch TV all the time, and I just had no idea I would ever have the chance to work with people. So that's great. Once again, being paid to get something that kids like to do, make believe. That's all good. Worst part, once again, like I said before, trying to figure out. Okay, I don't like auditioning. That's what I hate most. Because you're trying to figure out what somebody else wants, and sometimes it's funny with whatever, we're casting people, for example, and sometimes directors and whatnot. They don't even necessarily know themselves. So you have to try and figure out, based on what's on a piece of paper, what you think they might like. Sometimes you're right. Usually you're wrong. Auditioning is not my favorite thing. So.
No.
That's the best and worst, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's a lot of it's a lot of actors that sometimes they get into acting,
really, because I'm really,
and then after some years, they usually sometimes can't find work, and they get depressed and different things like that. Do you ever hear that
as an
type of thing?
You have to always have something on the side, though. And I always have. So I don't just act. I also do the reporting. I don't just do the reporting, but I do some writing. I don't just write, but I also do something is more recent for me. I used to do a lot of trade shows, and I never heard of trade show modeling until maybe about 7 years ago or something like that. And I used to do that on the side when things were slow with the acting. I do some trade shows. I mean, and that's 3, 4, 5 days, sometimes a couple weeks work. You're traveling, you're seeing things, whatever. And now I actually book people to do that same kind of work. So, and with that kind of work, there's always potential to grow. So, if you're really to be smart about it, you should not just focus, in my opinion, ever just focus on one thing. Just always try to keep in mind that what else can I do? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you ever feel fear of being typecasted? Because like you said, in Hollywood, they want you to be perfect hair, perfect face, perfect body, perfect skin color, perfect everything perfect. Do you feel like because you're a beautiful woman, most people, she's beautiful as hell. Do you fear being typecasted through certain roles?
Make the choice. If you really don't want that, you have to make the choice, and you have to start refusing to go on certain auditions. I saw an interview with Matthew McConaughey, who just won Best Actor. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He was typecast in romantic comedies over and over again. And he was good at them. He was making great money at them. But, but people, I think, and he even said that, they forgot that he's actually a really good actor. And he showed what he could do. But, he was offered other roles similar to the ones that he's mostly done. Yeah. And he said, nope. And he said that he talked it over with his wife, and, she stuck by him and said, okay, no, you gotta, stick it out, whatever. And then this Dallas Buyers Club comes along. And I don't know if you saw it, but wow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So sometimes you gotta find yourself.
I felt like before the movie, like when he lost all the weight, like when they were filming and stuff, and I was like, wow, what a transformation! He went from Magic Mike
do that. Sometimes, and another great one I did play last year that I loved, which was a little bit of a departure for me. A lot of actors do that too. They go and they work on stage and do roles that maybe they wouldn't necessarily get on TV in order to show people, and they invite other possible people who might possibly hire them to come to the theater and check me out. And so that's an opportunity to change that up too.
Yeah.
Favorite role. See, this is something you would have never, I'm sure you haven't heard of. There is a show that I did called Black Scorpion.
So what has been your favorite role so far that you have done?
It was actually in the early days of the Sci-Fi Channel. And it was on like very, very low budget. But it was so much fun because the character I was playing, her name was Veronica. I hate to admit it, but her alter ego was Tender Lovin' was her name. And what she was a fashion designer who was an ex-prostitute, but still dressed like a prostitute. But she was fun. I mean, she was fun. And it's funny that became my favorite role because I had to audition for that about 5 times. And that was a case where every time the feedback that my agent and my manager got from me was like, oh, she's not this enough. She's not that enough. She's like, oh, she can't, whatever. But they kept calling me in. I was like, I don't know what else to do. But I went in, and the last time I went in, a girlfriend of mine was visiting, and I said, I don't even know what to wear, because I've tried this, I've tried that, whatever, and they didn't like anything. And she said, I don't know, maybe I have something.
Yeah.
We're going through her, she always brings a huge suitcase, or like a ridiculous amount of clothes. We're going through her suitcase, and we found this tiny little leopard print dress, and okay, all right, I'll try that. So I go in wearing this little itty bitty dress and heels and whatever, and I say that dress got me the job because last time all I wore throughout the whole time I was on that show, which was a couple of years, was animal print. Animal print. Everything I wore was animal print, but the character was a lot of fun because she was loud and obnoxious and crazy and just dressed like crazy. So that was fun. Let me think about that. That's a good question. I would love to play roles like just any kind of role that would be.
What is your dream role?
I'm a big fan of like Angelina Jolie is one of my favorite actresses. I love Cicely Tyson. I'm kind of I like I would love to play a role that's just a really strong female role, like those two ladies and many others. I'm a big fan of Lynn Whitfield also. Like those kinds of that show strength, just really and the ability to overcome hard times, difficult times, whatever. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So many people.
Yeah.
President Obama. In the entertainment world. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to talk to some of the women I was just talking about.
Who would you want to interview that you haven't interviewed yet?
Because she was, she's been lucky. Talk to her about how things has changed over the years for her, not only as an actress but as an African American actress. Honestly, I mentioned Angelina. I would love to talk to Angelina Jolie because what I admire about her is that she has taken her celebrity and used it to, really try to do other, things for other people. I'd love to talk to Oprah for the same reason. People who have taken, have gone beyond like, oh, I'm a great actress and I'm pretty and I'm whatever, and said, but what can I do with this? How can I influence the world and make it, hopefully make it better or influence somebody else to try to do it better? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of used to it from the acting. It's fun for me because it's you sit and watch TV and you wonder what somebody is really like and that kind of stuff. My I said, I just interviewed Greg Kinnear for a show for a movie that came out.
Is it weird though since you started doing interviews? Is it kind of weird for you to do interviews, or are you used to it from the acting?
In his movies, for example, but. What we were talking about, this movie is about this little boy who, it's a real life story. This little boy, he's 4 years old, and he has a near-death experience, and he comes back talking about what he saw in heaven.
Uh-huh.
And it's a very, it's a serious subject matter. So I kind of wondered what Greg can, and to watch him in the film, you're thinking, wow, he can do drama just as well as comedy. In talking to him, he was very serious, and I found out he's actually, I think he is actually kind of spiritual. So it's interesting to meet a person who you have an impression of, watching TV, and you get one impression, and then you find out, wow, okay, you got a different side. Wow, I didn't know that. So yeah. That's I would say go for it. I mean, I'm all about, if you dream about it, then give it a shot.
Yeah, right.
Better to try something and fail or find that it's not for you than to want to do it and, like, oh, I don't know.
What advice would you give to young kids who look up to you as an inspiration in entertainment?
Better, like I said,
I can do that.
I'm happiest even in the things that I've tried. At least I can say, well, it wasn't right for me, but at least I tried, so I can't I can't look back with any regret.
Yeah.
It's about, connecting with people. And it's funny because there's not any real way to even know when that's going to happen. But there's something very powerful.
Now, what do you think makes a lasting impression on
I love
audience?
watching movies, and anything that inspires me to think more, or you find tears running down your face, or whatever. But it's one of those things where you can't really plan that kind of stuff. So because you never know how you're touching somebody. And that, I think, actually is the powerful thing about being in the entertainment industry. You have to be, in my opinion, you really have to be careful about what you do and what you say. Because there's somebody looking up to you somewhere, And, it's actually, in my opinion, it's a big responsibility being on TV and whatever.
Right.
And I think people have to think about that. And, so often, younger actors in particular don't necessarily think about that. It's like, oh, it's all about me. I'm on TV. Yeah, which is great. But you really do need to think about that little girl that's looking up to you, or that guy or whatever, and maybe will go out and act a certain way or do a certain thing because they saw you do it. So you got to think about it. Yeah, I do like to bake. I got a serious sweet tooth, I have to say. Which is lucky I got skinny parents because I'd have trouble otherwise, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like to. I love to cook. Like I said, I'm from the South.
What is
so
some
I
hobbies or something you like to do in your downtime? Because I know I saw on Twitter where you was baking.
Whenever I do have the chance. I'm very artsy. So there's I like putting together. Like everybody, I take lots of pictures. I got like the fancy Nikon professional camera, whatever, but I still use my cell phone more than anything else. But I love putting together, instead of scrapbooking or whatever, I put together, picture books, whatever, and I give those as gifts to people. I found this app the other day called Mosaic, I think it is, that you can take pictures from your cell phone and put them into a book, just like straight off the cell phone. So I'm like, oh, that's really cute. It comes in a cute little box, and you can give them as gifts. So I like doing that kind of stuff. Other than that, I go to concerts, whatever's. Mm-hmm. I love going to flea markets. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Oh my God, yeah, that's right. That's right. That was in Charleston, South Carolina, not that long ago. Oh my God, that's the best services. Oh, I was like, oh, it was nice. They know how to feed you in South Carolina. I'll take another job down there anytime.
Like you had collard greens and ribs and.
I am not at the moment, no. Huh? Why? Do you want to get married? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You look young for me. I know one. I might be a little old for you, but Okay. All right.
Oh, goodness. Now, are you married? You are not.
Okay.
But
I said you're not. This crazy. Yes.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's all right. I love older women.
Yeah, he's an old soul.
So. Now, like I said, right now, I'm really focusing on this thing with the extra. I mean, that would be really great.
Do you have any new projects that come up?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. There are, I think, about 12 of us
we got
considered, and it's just it's an honor to have been asked because.
You have any new projects coming up that you can talk about, or give us little hints of something that's coming that you want fans to know about and look out for?
That within the next month or so, I think. So we'll see. So if you see me and you like what I do, write to extra, tweet extra. That would be great, and tell them no. Okay. I love it. Thank you. Do I feel like my work could speak for me?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
At this point,
we tweet it. We'll get everybody tweeting.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more that I want to do. There's a whole lot more that I want to do.
If you never did any more acting, if you never, if you start doing the interviews and everything, you just become a cat lady one day, say.
I don't want to talk too much.
Do you feel like your work can speak for you?
But after that's done, then if I can get it made, then I will say yes. There's still a lot to do. I'm still young enough-ish. So.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Thank you. You know what's funny? You're the third person to say, you like Michelle Obama. I'm like, oh, I will take that. Wow.
Okay, yeah, don't think so.
Thank you. Okay. Let's put that out there. Let's put that out there in the universe. Okay.
Yeah.
Very young.
Very. And to add on to his dream role, I know you mentioned her, but if they ever do a movie about the Obamas, I can see you as Michelle.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. You be the first one to the door.
Thank you. And have a good Easter. Okay.
We're going to put that out. As soon as they audition, you'll be the first.